Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Mom Show. It is Dr. D, Mom of Three, your host, and we are here today on episode 17. Whoop, whoop. That number just keeps going up. We're so excited, always dropping some amazing nuggets with some awesome guests that we have recently had on. And today I'm even more excited because now we're in the second month of 2020. So I hope, 2021. I hope 2021 has been amazing. And remember, our 2021 ends with WON because this is the year that we're going to win what we've been trying to do and accomplish the things that we've been trying to do. And all the guests, in addition to myself, are here to encourage you and bring thoughts, ideas, and information to help build you up. So don't forget, if you've missed any previous episodes of the Dr. Mom Show, definitely go back, check that out, see what it's all about, and listen to the amazing people who have been on. Before we continue, of course, I have to remind you that the Dr. Mom Show is a medical informational resource. It does not take the place of your physician or your child's physician. So please seek your medical advice and your medical diagnoses and treatment from your own physician or your child's physician. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you know that this is the month of February and it is the month of love. So this month, I will be focusing on things of the heart. In addition, I'm going to give you a little spoiler where we'll also focus on heart health also this month. But today I'm so excited and I feel so privileged to have such an amazing young lady with me on today, which I can't even wait. You know, every show I'm like all excited. I'm so excited today. That's how exciting this show is. But I'm just so excited because today we are going to focus on love itself, talk more about self-love, how we can dare to love, which is the title of this show, and something else. So stay tuned. But help me welcome today, Miss Chundria Brownlow. Woo, 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 woo.
Hi, Dr. D. Thanks for having me on your show today. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. So I'm going to give you just a little snippet because she's got so many credentials. She's got so much stuff under her belt. I mean, she's just an amazing lady. When you see her, she's beautiful, she's young, she's ambitious, and you're just going to be like, dang, this is why Dr. D and Chundria are friends now because yes, right. Because we're glutton for punishment. We just keep climbing the ladder of success and keep challenging ourselves. So let me just excite you guys here about who you're about to hear from. So Chundria Brownlow, she is the founder and the owner of Chundria Brownlow Media, LLC. And we're so excited because today we're specifically going to be focusing on a new short film. I said it. She's like a producer up in here, filmmaker, all of that. You heard me say it. Her first, this is your first, right? Short film? Yes, first. So you guys are like VIP. Dare to Love. So that's the name. So it's like she fit right into the show, right? Well, I'm not going to lie. I got the name of the show from her short film. Okay. So I'll give her the credit. But just a little bit more about her. She's a television talk show host, an entrepreneur, of course, filmmaker. She was raised in Chicago, baby. And she has produced entertainment TV and has hosted events for over 10 years. So like I said, tons of experience under her belt. She is a proud graduate of Columbia College in Chicago, and she holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in television with a concentration in production and directing, which she's still going to school, ladies and gentlemen. So she'll probably be on again and she'll probably speak to it as she talks a little bit more about herself. But again, she has her own independent talk show where she features health and wellness. I'll be on there just so you know, so definitely gotta check it out. Love and relationships and lifestyle topics, also with experts. So you can get that from there. But in addition to all of that, she has been featured on the Steve Harvey Show. Can I get a what? See how cool she is? She just got cooler, right? She's been on Insider, on NBC, and even featured on BET. So we're we're so excited. So everybody help me welcome again, Chundria Brownlow, woo woo, the amazing and one and only.
Thank you so much, Dr. D. I appreciate you so much.
You're so welcome. So tell the audience a little bit more. I know I said a lot, but I know you have so much more going on.
I think we nailed everything. And on top of that, I'm going to grad school for my MBA. So, really taking this business to the next level. So that's probably the thing that I'm also most excited about as well, is going to school for business and, launching a new business. And I'm learning so much that I get to apply directly to, to my new life.
and that's so awesome. I love the fact that you even though you've accomplished so much already, that you're continuing to just increase your knowledge and take yourself to even another level in multiple ways, not even just one way at a time. She's like, bump this, I'm not doing one thing at a time. She's my kind of girl, I'm always like doing 50 things at one time. But I love that there is no, because I'm a firm believer, there's no cap to success. And, anytime, there's always an answer. I believe when people ask you what you can improve on and what you can get better at, we all can improve and get better at something in our life. So it's always nice not to settle and become stagnant. So we're going to jump right in it. So as I mentioned, if you missed it before, Chundria is working on her first short film called Dare to Love, which I'm so excited about because she's gonna be famous. Like, I need her autograph. So tell us a little bit more about your short film and some of the plot without spoiling it. Yeah, she's not gonna spoil it because you guys need to support her. You guys need to check out her film when it comes out.
Please check it out. So Dare to Love is an amazing short film that I've written, and it follows the story of a young engaged couple who are struggling to find common ground. And I wanted to tell a story about not only love, but about self-love, because you could love a person so much, but kind of lose sight of yourself or what you want. I feel like we've all been there, or we all know someone who has been in that position where you love so hard that you kind of put yourself on the back burner. You put your dreams, your goals, your desires, everything. Sometimes you put it all on the back burner to satisfy or, make someone else happy. And so that's the story that follows this couple who's engaged. And I'll tell you, the first scene is they're visiting their wedding planner. and it's from the jump we see, like they're struggling already, like, And
we all know that's like realistic. Like, the struggle's real when you're planning a wedding, and not only now as a couple, but now you got the pandemic going on. You got all this other stuff. So I love that your short film is just so realistic, because that's like, no matter how strong or like, if not so strong relationship may be, I feel like planning a wedding is a very tough time.
Absolutely. We're not on the same page. I mean, and it's sometimes it's one of those really hard conversations too, because I feel like, in the honeymoon dating phase, where you don't talk about a lot of the hard conversations about finances, about, goals and dreams and expectations, when you want to have kids, or if this spouse wants to start a business, but this spouse is like, no, we need to have a steady paycheck in here, or I'd like to spend $50,000 on a wedding. I was thinking more of 1,000, I was thinking more of my mom's backyard, like no pressure. So yeah. It's sometimes you get to that point, and I feel like the wedding sometimes is that first big obstacle where you really have to compromise and work together. And so the story follows them. It's a short film, probably about 15 minutes, and it follows this amazing couple who are amazing in their own rights, but sometimes, we're not meant to be with everybody. That's why relationships don't always work out. And so we get to see them really try to like wade through these coarse waters. And then we get to see in the end, how the story unfolds. Will they be together? Will
it work out? Will it
work out where they choose themselves, where they choose that other person? I mean, and there's no wrong way to love. Loving yourself doesn't mean that I love you less. It doesn't mean that I think that I'm more important than you are in this relationship, and vice versa. Just because I love on you doesn't mean that, you know, what I want, what I need doesn't matter either. So again, common ground is like the principal phrase in this movie. It's just about getting to a place where everybody's happy and comfortable and loves themselves and are happy, happy with themselves, happy with your decisions. So yeah, I'm excited about the movie. I'm excited about the story that it tells. It's not your, typical, love story where, everything's roses and mushy and beautiful and, the violinist comes in at the end. It's a story that I feel like is real, it's relatable. It's a story I wrote from my own experiences and the experiences of others around me. So I can't wait to share it, and I'm releasing it February 13th. So thanks to you for, I was actually honestly planning to release it a lot later in March, but thanks to you being like, I'm doing a love show, like, oh, settled it, done. So I moved it up.
I'll get that out for Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is coming, or it's here when this, and so I'm, it's a great love story, and it's not just love, agape love, intimacy love, but it's love of self too.
And a couple things that you talked about, I just love that we just got a lot of love going on today. Show. I just love the fact that you brought in, that you said that it's also your experiences, because I feel like books, whether it's an author or filmmaker, that just that authenticity and being so genuine when it's out of your own experience, I feel it adds to, whether, again, like I said, a book or a movie. And then the other thing, going back to couples in love, it's so true. Like with couples, if there's newlyweds listening or anything, or somebody dating, thinking about proposing, it isn't all roses and butterflies and unicorns. It's not. Part of love is to compromise and finding what will work for both of you, because when you love somebody, it's not all about you anymore. And you're right, Chundria is right in the sense that a wedding because you have money, you have to talk about money, you have location, you have colors you have to pick, designs you have to pick. I mean, how many people are in your wedding party? Some people are like, oh, I want tons of people. Other people are like, I'm fine with my
one friend. So
yeah.
You're like, for all those months. What are you doing?
And then there's some people who have like 6 flower girls and like 10 ring bearers. There's other people who have like 1 flower girl, 1 ring bearer. And I mean, of course, to each their own.
That needs to be the new norm on first date. Like, what is your idea of a wedding? What are you in your mind?
We can come up with that. The first date wedding survey. We're just gonna get it out of the way.
I'd rather just go to the courthouse. Like, okay, you know what? This has been fun. I'm gonna head out.
And it is important. And just on a serious note, like if you are in a relationship, like love is so important, because I feel when you truly love somebody, all this other stuff, even though there may be a little tug of war at times, like ultimately you love them so much that you guys work it out, and and you're okay with that, because it is a little give and take. Like I know for myself, being married, there's sometimes where I totally get stuff, it's my way, but then there's other times where it's not going to be my way. But I love my husband, I love my family so much that I'm like, it's all good, because at the end of the day, I have my husband and my family whom I love. And to tell you a funny story, Chundria talked about money, and my husband and I, before we got married, we just did premarital sessions, which I think are awesome. So we had a workbook. We each had a workbook, and the pastor said each week we would do a section in the book, and each section was different. It was about one was raising kids, another one was finances, another ones were Chundria mentioned it too, goals and dreams. So the week we did finances, so you worked on the questions by yourself, and when we come back, that's when you go over everything together. So one of the questions was, what amount of money do you think it's okay? Up to what amount of money do you think it's okay to spend without having to contact your spouse to say, hey, I saw this thing. It's whatever X amount of money. So my husband and I still laugh about this now. So I put $1,000. I put, I feel like I'm okay spending anything less than $1,000. And then my husband put 100.
See, exactly. Uncommon ground.
So I was like, hold up. So when I go to the grocery store, I have to call you.
So the bill is $148. Are you okay? Or should I put the meat back?
So, and I just thought it was nice because then obviously we then laughed because when I brought up the grocery store, he was like, oh yeah, you're right. But then it gives you a chance to talk about it. So whether you do like premarital sessions or even just sitting down, I think some of these topics are just very, very important to talk about before you get married, because it again, a relationship isn't only about love. That's one of the things. So I'm excited about the film because it sounds like your film just encompasses all of that, love and individuals' love for themselves, each other, their own goals, and just life itself, and how to juggle all of that while trying to plan a wedding.
While trying to plan a wedding, which again is relatable. It was relatable for me. I mean, I've been married for 2.5 years. My husband Ty and I. What I love is we didn't have to compromise on much because I feel like we spent a lot of time like being great. I'm grateful for what he does. He's grateful for what I do. So we have a lot of gratitude in our marriage, but I mean, just being able to have conflict, be willing to compromise, or be willing to be quick to have conflict resolution. Like we don't let things fester, or even uncomfortable conversations. We don't let any of that fester. And so in the movie, I wrote the complete opposite because I feel like we're like rare. I don't know many people that.
No, you're right.
I'm mad and I'm gonna be mad all week. I know people that are, I'm just gonna sit in it. And as a couple, we don't do that. Like, no, I didn't like it when that happened, or I liked when that happened, or I prefer whatever the conversation is. And so I hope that this cultivates stronger relationships. It's not just a film that I just wrote and it's just, for giggles, but I hope that, people see themselves in one of the characters. And I hope that they, apply what they see in their own relationships, whether that be like with your friends and your intimate relationship with your family members, just giving people grace and also being patient, and putting love first. And whether that be, I'm going to love myself, in this situation that doesn't serve me, or whether it be, I understand what we're dealing with. I love you. Let's push past it, So I hope that people do more of that. In a sense.
So I know you touched a little bit on that, this was your first film and some reasons why you're doing it, but what exactly, this is your first short film. Like, what exactly made you go with more so of like love and the story that you wrote for it?
I'm a sucker for a love story. Like I am all about love. I binge on love shows. I watch all the love movies. I have just always been like that. And I've always been into love stories. I love a good love story. I love to see couples like champion through, some of their hardest moments and get through them. You never want to see people go their separate ways, but sometimes it's just a part of the process. If I think about every ex-boyfriend I had, if I had to let them go to get to, my amazing husband, then hey, goodbye, guys. And so I'm a fan of love stories first. So I wrote what I love, I wrote what I know, I wrote what I live, and I wrote what I've been through. And so so it was a no-brainer for me to pick this genre for my first project.
I love it, and I love that it's just from your heart. And any project, of course, it's even more fun when it's something you're passionate about and you love it. So I'm sure you're having so much fun doing it. So that's awesome. So why would you say it's so important for us to love ourselves?
I feel like we have to be good to ourselves. I feel like this world brings so much pressure on a day-to-day. I mean, I feel like there's a laundry list of things that can just worry us. Stress, anxiety can lead to health issues. It's like that snowball effect where if you're, some people are worried about money. Some people are worried about where they're going to live. Some people are worried about their next job. Some people are trying to start a business. Some people are trying to keep a business. Like all over the world in unity, people are worrying about something, whether it be a small thing a big thing. Some people are worried about relationships. Some people are in relationships, they want out of them. Some people are single and want to be in one. Like there's so much contrition and unhappiness in the world in some way, even if we're like really good at masking it or tucking it away. Like, yeah, I want these things, and sometimes I feel more often than not we don't know how to get them. So that's where it comes from. Is I want people to love themselves enough to go after the things they want and leave the things that don't serve them. And I'm a big advocate of that. Like whether I'm running a film or I'm having girl talk with my friend and she's telling me about this guy who is just all the way wrong, I'm going to tell her to serve herself. Like if he's not giving you what you need, he's not making you feel good, he's not bringing you joy, he's not treating you the way you should be treated, then it doesn't serve you, then let him go, or if my friend is like, oh my God, things are going so good, I'm so excited, I just love it. I'm like, okay, that is great. Take your time, get to know him. I'm all about cultivating the good and letting go of the bad,
And I love that, because I think as humans, people have a tendency to hang on to that bad luggage, whatever it may be, whether it's a relationship that didn't work out or a traumatic event or just a bad time in your life. And I think that's such awesome advice that's applicable, like you said, to any part of our life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's our family, whether it's personal. I think it's so important to learn how to let go of things, because we stop ourselves, we hold ourselves back from growth when we harp on old things that are, bad times, that really hinders us. So I love that advice that you were giving. I really do.
I mean, and like you said, if it's a relationship, it could be with your boss. If you have an awful boss, or there's so many circumstances in life where something just doesn't serve you.
Yeah. No, I love that.
If there's a goal you ever wanted to reach, or maybe you're around a bunch of naysayers, it could be, oh, why are you doing that? Everybody's doing that. Everybody's trying that. Don't try to start a business during the pandemic. Don't quit your job during the pandemic. Everybody's always giving advice that doesn't like sow into other people, but that comes from a place of sometimes unhappiness. Sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes it's like, oh, they're hating on you. That's the place that they're in. If I'm in a place of unhappiness, I really can't exude you right now. I don't think you should quit your job and start a business. I don't. But maybe that is the best thing. So that's where that self-love comes. I'm gonna do what honors me. I'm gonna do what makes me feel good. I'm gonna do what makes me smile. I'm gonna do what makes me happy. That's big for me, is acting, and moving. When I have an idea, I move on it. I've tried so many things over the years that even when I left Chicago to move to Los Angeles, I had some people like, that's the most expensive city in the world. And they were absolutely right. It is insanely expensive to live in Los Angeles. Like, I get it. But what if I would have listened to them and go, you know what, you're right. I don't have enough money to go. I'm going to just stay here in Chicago. I don't know that I would be the talk show host that I am today, the entrepreneur that I am, because God, I accept all parts of the journey, the rough parts, the crazy parts, the unpredictable parts, the good parts. You have to embrace all of the journey, not just the good parts, the sweet parts, the successful parts. So yeah, I wouldn't have done it any other way. Even after coming back home with my family, I wouldn't have done it any other way. So it's about taking chances in love. It's about taking chances in your career, taking chances in business, traveling, like whatever that is in your heart that you want to do. If you want to be married and the person you're with doesn't line up to what you want, it's okay to be like, you know what, this isn't working for me, and I'm going to be optimistic that what I need is seeking me too.
Yeah. And, I love that. I love that you kind of go, because no matter what, when you take on a challenge or something new, you are a little blinded. You can't predict the future. You can't predict what'll happen, but you're so right. When opportunities present themselves, we don't ever know where they're going to take us, how they'll help us grow. So I do like that. Well, what can you tell the audience? What advice can you tell the audience on how they can balance like love for themselves, love for their careers, love for their families, their significant others? How can they balance that?
I say, if balancing isn't natural, because it's not always natural. I've had some unnatural years where, I mean, I was all about team no sleep at some point in my 20s. I'm 39. I'm 39 now, but I remember in my 20s, I was all about team no sleep, staying up all night editing videos and things like that, you know. And now that I'm in my 30s, rest is so much more important.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to reset and unplug. Whereas in my 20s, I was just all about YOLO and was burning the candle at both ends. I was going out with my friends and I would edit and I work full time, and you're just doing all these things with no intention in a sense. So, now in my 30s, I've even learned a bit more. So I find myself scheduling everything. If it's important to me, then it gets scheduled. And it doesn't have to be from 2:15 to 2:58. I'm going to watch a movie with my husband. It doesn't have to be that intricate, but I know when to unplug. I know when to say, you know what, at 9:00, I'm gonna close all these tabs and I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna go watch Married at First Sight. I'm gonna, today I'm in grad school, so I may say, you know what, today I am gonna do nothing but work on my schoolwork this day for 12 hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm gonna work on schoolwork. So I always start with an intention, even if it's at 5 o'clock. Okay, I go, okay, it's 5 o'clock. What is my intention for this evening? My intention for this evening is to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to clean the kitchen and I'm going to go watch TV and then I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to drink some tea and then I'm going to go to bed. So for me, I would advise that we just set intentions. If you have to write them down, if you have to write them down on a Sunday night, like what do I want to see happen this week? And whether that be personal care, whether that be relaxed time, whether it be quality time with the kids or your spouse, whether it be time for your business. Everything gets, if it's because we kind of operate that way. Important things get written down. We don't forget important. We don't forget to go to work. I'm there at 8 o'clock. I'm there at 8 o'clock. But then everything else that's important kind of gets the secondary. Like if I have time, if I remember, if I feel like it. Why are this level of things so conditional? But you don't miss work. We don't miss doctor's appointments. It's things we just don't miss. Like, I have to be at the doctor at 10:15. I'm going to get up at 8:30. I'm going to brush my teeth and I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go and I'm going to be at the doctor 15 minutes early so I can check in. But then when it comes to like maybe launching your business, you didn't do the research you were supposed to do. Or, you were supposed to watch a movie with your spouse, but you said, you know what, not tonight. Can we just watch it tomorrow? So everything has to have that priority, whether it's a small little thing, for me, I like to keep the commitments that I make to myself. Today I'm going to go pick up a Target order. I committed to that. And it's a small thing, but if you're used to making commitments to yourself and not being so focused on the commitments that you make to others, because some people are like that too. Like, oh, my friend, I told her I would help her move on Saturday and I'm going to get up early and help her move. But if there was something for you, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm not doing that today. I'll research that tomorrow. I'll check on that tomorrow. I'll do the laundry tomorrow. Keep up with what you commit to yourself.
Yes. And I really like two things, especially that you said with your advice. One, that to be intentional about what you do and how you're using your time. And the other thing is committing, because that's so true, because you're right. We're really good at putting ourselves on the back burner, especially as female entrepreneurs, as moms. I think women in general, we have a tendency to put others before ourselves. But I think it's so important to be deliberate, like Chundria talked about, that, again, you don't have to have like every second, like at 1:12, I will use the bathroom, like whatever. Not so like black and white, but when you are busy, like you look at Chundria's schedule, it's easy for her to tell her husband, like, we'll do that later. And then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks and she really hasn't sat down with her husband and done something. So that's why it is so important to be intentional about those things, to balance what you're doing, whatever your career goals are, to spend time with your kids, to spend time with your spouse, to spend time with your loved ones. It is important. So you really want to invest. And you've heard me say this before, time is like money. You know, we more so people focus on money, that I have to invest my money. I want my money to grow. And, you know, we can't make time grow, but you know what? The multi-billionaire has the same 24 hours that everybody else has. And what it comes down to is how we invest our time, what we do with our time. So, I love the fact, because I'm such a believer in being deliberate and intentional about time, and just like not wasting your time. Because even when you're trying, like you're going to grad school, you got this short film, you got this new company. I mean, you have so much going on that literally every second counts for you. So I totally get that. I always say I'm like squeezing every second for what it has. So I totally.
There's always something to do.
Exactly.
I also don't like the feeling of procrastinate. Like when you procrastinate and then you have to use future time for something that you could have done right now, or you committed to do right now. That part right there is like, nope, let me get on, go ahead. Because I know it's my future self will look back at me like, why didn't you do this yesterday? Like,
that's so right. That's so right. Well, I love that. Well, so I don't know if you're able to tell us this, but can you share with us if there's anything like on the horizon after your short film comes out? More short films,
more. You know, I'm excited about this new chapter, this new journey. I'm all about chapters and journeys and evolution. As a creative, I love creating. I mean, I'm always creating something. That's like my happy place. It's therapeutic for me too, as I'm writing or I'm graphic designing, I'm editing video, whether I'm doing whatever it is. That's my happy place. So yeah, more short films. My goal this year is to I would like to put together, when this year ends, I would like to have this, I see it already, this amazing sizzle reel for the year in review for Chundria Brownlow Media. My goal was to produce 5 short films this year, taking about a month or 2 at a time to, you know, obviously write it, produce it, and then film it, and then distribute it. But the goal is to get to 5 projects. Some will be shorter than others. I don't know. I mean, I have like the inspired thought all the time, but yeah, that is the goal, is to keep creating throughout the year. I don't want to, I was like, it's a lot, but it's not a lot, because again, I said intention. So my day isn't crazy. You know, my days are 24 hours is a lot of time to do things. So my days are well planned. You know, I get rest. I drink my herbal tea. So important. You know, and I make a time for everything, and I make sure it gets done, and I set realistic goals. So yeah, this year I'm looking forward to really networking with other actors and actresses all over the world. You know, I hope that this is the start of a beautiful working with the actors that are in Dare to Love. I'm excited to continue to work with them on a number of projects.
You know, if you're looking for an extra or anything like that.
Yes. And I mean, I also hope that, you know, COVID is crazy, but I hope to go to other cities and film projects as well, so that I can meet new people, connect with new people, build with new people. I don't want to just I don't plan to film all of them in Chicago. You know, I would love to go back to LA and do a film. I would love to go down to Atlanta. I would love to go to Houston. I would love to go to New York City. So I have all these ideas. St. Louis. I'll drive down there, girl. You know, so yeah, the year is about creating and building and getting myself out there, and, you know, ultimately in the future connect with, you know, major production companies, major TV networks, and be having different conversations.
I love it. Well, awesome. Well, can you just share with the audience, especially the ones listening on the podcast, how they can connect with you?
Oh, please. Thank you in advance. Please connect with me on social media. Everything is for myself. My personal account is Chundria TV, CHUN as in Nancy, DRIA, Chundria TV. And then also for my new social media account for the new business is C Brownlow Media, across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, Chundria Brownlow. So yeah, I'm on pretty much all the platforms. So please follow. If you're on Clubhouse, I'm on there under Chundria TV. So I like to stay current. But Instagram is my favorite, absolute favorite social networking site.
So definitely check her out, support her, follow her, stay in touch because I know she's going to be doing big things. And also don't forget to check out Dare to Love coming out February 13th. I mean, this is like perfect. What a good opportunity to like cuddle up with your loved one with a little hot cocoa and whipped cream. I like marshmallows and whipped cream and hot cocoa next to the fireplace. And again, it's just 15 minutes. It's a short film, like Chundria said. So see, you don't have to put aside a whole bunch of time. It can be a little break for you, but check it out. The website's on here and it'll be on the information, but that's www.cbrownlowmedia.com/dare to love. And that's all one. So definitely support Chundria. Again, thank you so much for being on and sharing. You guys are like hearing about this film before it even drops. So you should be the first ones watching it. I feel so privileged and honored that you were able to share it with myself and our audience.
Thank you for being my first interview about the film. I'm so grateful. So thank you.
I love it. And of course, thank you all today for listening and for watching this show. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Dr. Mom Show on YouTube and follow on Facebook, again, the Dr. Mom Show. And then of course on Instagram, I do like Instagram a little bit more at drmom_show. And then of course you can check out my website, www.drdalenemushalak.com. There's some health freebies on there. If you've missed any episodes or podcasts, you can get on there. And then finally, of course, if you want to turn your vision into legacy, you can do that with Alea Publishing. If you're wanting to write your story, do a collaboration, write a children's book, whatever it is, you guys know that I'm huge on living, not only leaving, but living your legacy and not waiting until you pass away and you're not even here anymore to enjoy the legacy that you are building. So definitely check that out. You can check that out at aleapublishingllc.com. And of course, just a reminder, there's always some workshops going on right now. I'm doing a detox and a clean eating workshop that restarts in March. So you have a little time so you can eat all your chocolate covered strawberries this month and then start from fresh. Those are like some of my favorite things to eat, but start from fresh in March. And of course, thank you, Chundria. Everybody give her a round of applause. So excited. I know you're going to do great things. And I know God has so much in store for you that I know this isn't the first or last time that we're going to hear your name or see you on media.
Thank you. That means so much to me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you, everybody. Remember that you are precious and priceless. You are amazing. You are beautiful, and you can do anything you put your mind to because you are a superhero. Just have faith over fear, and God bless. And of course, from Dr. Mom, don't forget to wash your hands, kiss your kids, love your families, and say your prayers. Good night. Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.